more in than out John Gibbons, he better not be. He's got a league title to win.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's fantastic, and that's what he's focused on, and that's what he said, straight away. He did a really good interview with James Carroll on LFC TV where he talked about, what he wanted at the start of the season was how he was desperate to win the league and how he's basically signed to win stuff. Like, it was a really nice interview, but it was low on I just love the fans and stuff like that, and like it was more like fucking love winning and we're going to win here, so let's go. And I just sort of love that. He's all business, Mo Salah. He was happy to do the interview because he knows that happens, but he wants to score 17 goals on Sunday because that'll help Liverpool win the league and him move up that ladder, and I love him for it.
For me, that is the defining thing. Let's be clear about this. It's a load of money, and it's a load of money from Liverpool's point of view. But if Mo Salah wants to go and get more, I can think of a couple of leagues where he could have got more, but it would have been like going to semi-retirement. It wouldn't have been winning the biggest prizes in the game, and that's all he wants to do. He's basically bought into 2 more years because he just wants to win the biggest prizes in the game. And John, so do you, and so do I.
Yeah, and I think that's why we all get on. Do you know what I mean? He's like, when he's talking about the bond between the fans, and he's like, they want me to score goals, and boy, do I want to score goals because we both know points mean prizes. Goals mean points mean prizes. Fucking great, this innit? Let's do more than this. And so I think he feels like we're all on the same page. We come from different worlds. He gets paid a lot more than what we do, but I think it's he sort of aligned on that, very much sort of common goals, and it is brilliant, and listen, it's great because you watch football sort of around the world and stuff like that, and Arne talked in his press comments about how many good wide players there are at the moment, but everyone would love Mo Salah, and we've got him for 2 more years, and it's great news for us, dreadful news for the rest of the Premier League, and it's just fantastic. I'm made up.
I'm delighted he's going to do 10 seasons. It's this idea of he has been for 10 seasons one of the best players in the world. He's had slight misfortune in that it's sort of coincided with Leo Messi, who could well be the best player ever to play the game. But for 10 seasons, well, for 8 so far, I think it will be 10 seasons. Any list of the top 5 attackers on the planet has to include Mo Salah, and that is going to continue for us, Craig. And I think there was question marks about the club, question marks about the handling of the whole thing, by virtue of him extending. Those question marks those questions have very emphatically been answered.
Yeah, massively. I am ready for Mo Salah to break more records, break more of Mo Salah's records. That's my favourite thing. I'm ready for him.
I like when Mo Salah is the first player to have done X since Mo Salah.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot more only Mo Salah for the rest of the footballers in the Premier League. And he's a footballer that have given us incredible experiences. I love that what John said, like, we just love goals, and Mo Salah scores goals, but not only that, it's the assists as well. He's got I saw the stat this morning, which was something along the lines of it's the highest or the best goals per goal involvement per game ratio in Premier League history. There's a stat that I have been low-key obsessed about, to be honest, and it's Liverpool's goals per game in history, the ratio. Yeah. Mo Salah has been second of that, only behind Gordon Hodgson, who finished playing football in the 30s. Yeah. 1935 he played. So
let's not talk our former heroes down though, Craig.
But Suarez is there, but Suarez was there for a few seasons. Mo Salah's been doing this, as you say, like season in, season out, and it's going to continue. And like you say, he's not going to be signing on if he doesn't think that this club are set up to win more trophies. You say he's been a little bit, it's been annoying for him that Leo Messi's been playing at the same time, but it's been annoying for him. He's been playing against Man City all of these years. He would have had more silverware, but he's going to finish the season with a league title. He's going to finish the season being the top goal scorer, the top assister. Hopefully he gets a Ballon d'Or at some stage over the next 6 months. And there's more trophies to come at Liverpool.
I think with it, Craig, the key part of this is, as I say, I think it shows his belief in his commitment. I think his belief in his commitment is always in himself, first and foremost. I think he is so driven as an individual. So let's be clear, part of the reason why Mo Salah thinks Liverpool are going to win more is because Mo Salah is going to play for Liverpool. Yes. That is a key part of this. But I think it also shows that he's firmly of the view that the club is going to be doing the business. he's been playing for Liverpool at seasons when Liverpool have come fourth and fifth, third and fifth, sorry, through all of this process. You know, he's lived that reality a little bit. So he has been Mo Salah when it hasn't worked. He's had to put up with that reality, but he's also, therefore, I think, very committed to the idea of these 2 years being Mo Salah when it does work for Liverpool.
Yeah, massively. But that is, you know, you watch any documentary about any sort of elite athlete, and that is their mindset. Their mindset's their own. That's how they get to the top of their craft. You know, he's not settling at any stage for it being good at Liverpool. He wants brilliant, and that's why it's important to keep these footballers around with that mentality, because they raise everyone else's level. The best footballers make all of them around them much better. Now, Mo Salah does it in slightly different ways because he has players that sort of helping him do that these days with his age and all of that. But you know, Mo Salah makes Liverpool better by scoring more goals than anyone else and more assists than everyone else. So you know, with him in your team, you always feel like anything's possible. You feel like any trophy at the beginning of the season is possible. You feel like you can win any game because in a moment he can switch it, he can flick it, and he can score it. So I'm made up. I know it's one of those ones where it's felt as if it's been done for a while because he's not been talking about it for a while. Like, he's not come out to any journalists for ages and been complaining because so it's obviously there's been a resolution. But like when you see it this morning, I'm like, yes, here we go. My son thinks that all football's Mo Salah. So after that, I couldn't have the heart to tell him that like he's left. Like he's going to me Mo Salah, and I'm going no.
There's a really nice comment actually. It's from International Tech. Sounds important, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He says, "I love that this means my son will just about remember Mo Salah in the way I remember the Russian Barnes." And it is that sort of thing, isn't it? That obviously, like, you know, for kids growing up who idolise him, you know, your idol sort of leaving, you know, would be a heavy thing for us. You know, we've sort of had a little bit of that with sort of players going, you know, but those guys have been rushed leaves for a year, but sort of comes back. But the idea is, if he does go in a couple of years, that will feel like the sort of going to do the tail end of his career somewhere. Again, in that interview, Salah kept saying, "My best years have been here," and I think he still thinks these are parts of his best years.